Amazon.com went live in 1995.
Historien om Amazon, den strækker sig helt tilbage til midten af 90'erne. Og det hele, det begyndte med en mand ved navn Jeff Bezos, som så et potentiale i at sælge bøger på nettet.
Your whole mission was to make the customer happy, to bring about customer ecstasy.
Og vi kommer tilbage til Amazon, der blandt andet har medført en omvæltning af den måde, bøger bliver købt og solgt på i hele verden. For først, så skal vi lige til London og møde Josh.
So Josh Bovington is my name. I'm 27 years old. It's weird. I love doing the books, but it's kind of I kind of see it as my day thing that I do. My main passion is script writing and music as well. Those are two things that I like doing the most.
Josh og hans kæreste Gemma, de står under Waterloo Bridge og sælger bøger på South Bank ved den sydlige bred af Themsen. Og det har Josh's familie faktisk gjort i 40 år.
So we're at the South Bank Book Market in London. We're underneath Waterloo Bridge. It's quite a nice sunny day today, and we're hoping for some good trade.
And this is your bookstore. Can you tell me a bit about, it's been your family for ages, hasn't it?
40 years, yeah. 40 years we've been here, which is when the market was set up. So it was set in 1980, and we've been here since then. It started with my grandparents and a few other sellers as well. And we were, me and my girlfriend started working down here as well, and I started working for my dad. And we were lucky enough to have the opportunity to take on the stall next to us.
And this isn't exactly like a traditional bookstore where you go inside somewhere. You're actually outside under a bridge in all sorts of weather.
Yes.
How does that work?
It can be a challenge sometimes, especially with the wind. We're under a bridge, so luckily the rain isn't too much of a factor. But the wind is the main problem. So even if there's a little bit of rain, the wind will blow it under, kind of soak the books, everything like that. So you have long periods of very cold weather, a lot of rain.
By 1997, Amazon was a hit. Its vast choice and cheap prices meant more than 1 million of us were now buying books online.
Vi skal tilbage til Amazon, som lige nu er ved at gøre sit indtog i Skandinavien. Men Amazon er bestemt ikke nye på det britiske marked. Sidste år der viste en undersøgelse ifølge avisen The Guardian, at 90% af de britiske forbrugere på et tidspunkt har benyttet sig af Amazon. Den samme undersøgelse den viste, at hver fjerde britiske voksne i 2019 var tilmeldt fordelsprogrammet og streamingtjenesten Amazon Prime. Det der med at sidde hjemme i sofaen og bestille varer på sin telefon, det lader til, at det simpelthen er for nemt og for billigt til at sige nej til. Men helt fra begyndelsen, så har Amazon faktisk slået sig på at sælge bøger. Amazon begyndte nemlig som en e-boghandel tilbage i 1995. Og det kan godt være helt underligt at tænke på i dag, men dengang var Jeff Bezos' idé om at sælge bøger på nettet banebrydende.
When you have that many items, you can literally build a store online that couldn't exist any other way.
Jeff Bezos' opfindelse, den blev så populær, at den gennem de kommende år spredte sig til andre lande. Og i 1998, der åbnede Amazon altså i Storbritannien. Og det har ikke altid været en dans på roser.
They're monitored at all times, even toilet visits are regulated. This isn't a sweatshop factory abroad. It's the Midlands-based warehouse of the global online retail giant Amazon.
Dårlige arbejdsforhold og kritik af firmaets forhold til skattevæsenet, det er altså bare lige for at nævne et par af de kritikpunkter, som Amazon har mødt i Storbritannien. Men trods kritikken, så har Amazon succes hos kunderne, og særligt under corona-lockdownen har den velsmurte Amazon-maskine vist sig som uvurderlig.
From this evening, I must give the British people a very simple instruction. You must stay at home. You should not be going shopping except for essentials like food and medicine.
De seneste tal fra de britiske myndigheder, de viser, at onlinehandlen mellem februar og juli i år steg med 50%. Efterspørgselen hos Amazon har i år været så stor, at de nu annoncerer, at de kommer til at skabe 7.000 nye jobs i Storbritannien til det hårdt prøvede jobmarked. Og det er oven i de 3.000 jobs, man allerede havde lovet. Men selvom Amazons varer går som varmt brød, så er den hårde konkurrence ikke noget Josh og Gemma under mere normale omstændigheder mærker i deres brugtboghandel.
For a start, I think over here, because Amazon's been here for a very, very long time, and it's just become a necessity of sorts. I think for a lot of people, you can order so many things. With books, it's hard, I think, because people like to kind of look at the book before they bought it. Obviously, you can't do that on Amazon. I think that's one of our main kind of positive points, is that you're buying something, you can look at it, you can look at the condition, you can see exactly how it is, and you're buying it straight away. You don't have to wait for the delivery, you don't have to pay delivery costs as well. I definitely think that's got a lot to do with it. Also with like the whole lockdown thing, you had to wait a long time for post. Over here, you had to wait a long time. It would usually things that would turn up the next day, you'd have to wait a week or two for. So to come down here and just pick it up instantly, I think that was a really big selling point for us. It was something that kept us in business as well, really. We have a really wide range of books as well, so I think even if people aren't expecting to buy something, they'll come down here and they'll see something, they'll pick this up, and then they'll pick up something else as well. And, one thing leads to another, and they're going home with 3 or 4 books, whereas on Amazon, you just look for what you want. You don't have that kind of, that kind of excitement of seeing what you would find. You don't find a hidden treasure because you're just looking for one thing, and you don't have that way of browsing that I think you can do here. So I think that's what's really helped us.
Selvom Amazons indtog ikke har gjort særlig ondt på lige præcis denne familie af boghandlere, så er det ikke den eneste trussel mod sådan en fysisk bogstands eksistens. Bogsælgere som Joss og Gemma er vant til at blive udfordret.
When the Kindles started taking off, that was a little bit of a worry, because we didn't know how it was going to affect our trade. Obviously, you look at other industries like, VHS got obsolete because of DVDs, and now DVDs because of Blu-ray, and then Blu-ray because of Netflix, so it's all online. Same with the books. It's like, if people can get it on a screen like that, who's going to want to buy a book? And that was a worry for a little bit, from what I've heard from the other sellers down here. But, talking to people, I don't think people are over keen. Some people are. Some people like the Kindles. But it's different with a book, because you can hold a book, you can open the book. I think in the same way that people look at vinyl records as like a whole experience, this is another kind of similarity I've heard. People buy an album, like a vinyl, for the whole package. So you're not just buying it for the music, you're buying it because it's the sound of putting a needle on the record, and it's kind of looking at the sleeve notes and like looking at the album, the cover art and stuff like that. Same thing with books, really. It's kind of got more of a personality to it. It's not just the words on a screen like it is with the Kindle. You're buying a book, you can look at the cover. Just the feel of the pages is another thing I've heard people. We have really odd things down here, like people even smelling the books sometimes, just they like the smell and the feel of it. It's very strange. I had a guy tell me once that he just loves to kind of rip the page of a book a bit, kind of like as a bookmark for himself, just to know it's his, give it that personal touch to it. After he's bought it, obviously. I'd be worried if not.
In this day and age when everything happens on a screen, I'm looking on a screen constantly. When I'm reading, I don't want to have to look on a screen.
Absolutely. And I've heard this as well. Also, it's like, hurts your eyes. You're kind of squinting at the screen. You've got this light on it that's really bright. I know you can probably dim it. But I mean, I've had family members who have got Kindles and they've got rid of them. They've got them as presents and they just can't hack it. They can't deal with it because it's just not the same,
Så Amazon og Kindle kan altså ikke måle sig, når det kommer til en tiltrængt skærmpause, og det mener Josh altså er en del af forklaringen på, at der stadig er forretning i at sælge bøger for mindre handlende som ham og Gemma. Og så er der det der med at finde noget, som man ikke lige havde regnet med.
Find a hidden treasure. They might stumble upon a book from their childhood or something, like you said, that you wouldn't have been searching for, but you just happen to come across it and you're like, oh, I really want to give that a read. I'll buy it now. You can buy it just right here and now. I think you have good intentions sometimes of buying a book. You might be like, I really need to read, 1984, Animal Farm, something like that. But the chance that you actually going online, ordering it, paying for shipping and waiting, and then reading it when it turns up, is pretty slim, probably, I think, for most people. So if you're just passing by, you see the book, you can have it right there. You can read it on the train home, for instance, have some music on in the background, or just sit. It's such a nice place down here when the sun's out, even at Christmas, it's a very good atmosphere. So I think people just like the idea of buying a book and then kind of sitting by the Thames and having a read.
So I know you want to write scripts and make music as well, but are you going to be a bookseller forever, do you think?
I think I'll always be a bookseller forever. I kind of think... I kind of feel a duty to keep it up because of the family stuff. I feel like...
it's almost in your blood.
Exactly, it is. The books are in my blood. So I kind of see myself in that kind of way where I'd like to do something else as well, but I'll always have this down here. Plus, it's a good retirement job as well, because there's no mandatory retirement age down here. Like I said, my nan's 90 now, and she still comes down here on occasions. So is my granddad, is 85. I'd like to be like that when I'm that age as well. I'm always going to be down here. I feel like I have to, really, because just to keep the family name alive and keep the work that they've put in to get this place where it is now, where it's kind of known everywhere, like known around the world, kind of. I feel a duty to kind of keep that up, really, for their legacy.